Hello, hello, everybody. Al Williamson here. We're going to be talking about short-term rentals today. How are you guys doing? Good, good. Let's see, make sure I can share my screen with you and get all that going. I'm in a new location today, temporarily here. Let me make sure I get my screens going. And there we go. How's everybody? Good, good. You guys find the hand button? Can you find the hand button? Show me your fingers. That way I can see. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll be getting going here. We'll be talking about short-term rentals. All right. I think I'm getting a little bit better at these things. I can do two things at the same time now. It's good to see so many of you here. Thank you so much. Again, we're going to give people just a minute to come on, and then we'll go from there. Hi, people. Hi, people. I see you. Scott, I see you. Guys, I see everybody. It's good to have so many of you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. I gave myself a little gain so I wouldn't have such a wimpy little voice. But helping make this interactive. And we'll just let people catch up with this. How's that sound? Let's get started here. And hello, and thank you for coming. It's good to see all the people. I'm flattered that you guys take some time to be with me. I want to lead a discussion here on Airbnb, VRBO, short-term rentals, okay? And we'll try to make it as interactive as I can. This is live. I always trip up, and I lose momentum when I shift and try to click on the right button. So I'll take a break every once in a while and answer questions and make sure we get all of your questions answered before it's done. Today is the 13th of July, and I'm in downtown Sacramento, not in my home today. I got a little networking meeting right in this room, so I took it over. But let's get into it. The name of this webinar is The Lazy Way to Use Short-Term Rentals to Create More Financial Freedom in Your Life. That sounds good, doesn't it? And I get my buttons over here. All right, let's see if I can get it going. There we go. I'm Al Williamson. I'm the world's first landlord scientist. I made that one up. I'm often the speaker at various real estate events and on different topics about how landlords can use short-term rentals to multiply their profits and have a simpler life. I sit on panels and I have arguments with people. I talk about different technologies and nanotechnologies for landlords to help us get more income out of our properties. That's kind of what I do. That's what a landlord scientist does. And today, this is what we're going to go over. We're going to go over why landlords aren't making the passive income we hope for. We signed up for something, but really the cash flow doesn't come to us. And how the extended stay hotel market has really changed everything. We'll get into that. And some new ideas for traditional monthly rentals. That sound good? All right. Now this whole thing, going to be about just a few minutes, about an hour. So it is for you if you want the ability to turn just a small investment like $3,500. You want the ability to turn that into a $500 monthly cash flow stream. That sound like something you want to do? Okay. And if you want rentals that you're proud of, they're not all falling apart. And if you have a vacancy coming up, you really want to get on the edge of your seat. And this is not for you if you are only concerned about wealth preservation. If you just want to park your money and go from there, just as long as you're making more than the bank, this won't be for you. And if you don't like people and hospitality is not your thing, then this won't be for you. And if you think the internet is a fad and that you don't need to innovate or update your practices, this won't be for you. I can't convince you of that. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you this valuable gift. This is an audio series we put together a few years back. It was a collection of all the top 10 ways to reduce rental expenses. It's the best ideas that the collection I had that year. And I'm going to tell you when to take a screenshot, and it'll be yours. And I'm also going to send you the link to all those who are attending the webinar, okay? So stick around to the end. I'm going to give you this. It's going to literally save you thousands of dollars every year. It has for me and for many others, so it's an extremely valuable gift. Stick around to the end. It's going to be cool. We're going to have a good time, all right? All right. So this is a live GoToWebinar event. All kinds of things can go wrong. So GoToWebinar works best when you have only one browser open. So if you can hold off from Facebooking and checking other things, it will work best. Also, I'm going to be talking about some real subtle things that I don't know many other people talking about. So you might miss the real point. So it's a good time to put your phone in airplane mode and just kind of give me a little focus here, because we'll be going fast. So who is Al Williamson? Who am I? Why listen to me? I'm a family man, got some beautiful girls and my hot wife. I've been landlord for over 20 years. It's going on 21 now. I started in '96. And I am down to 14 units now. We sold off a lot of stuff so I could take an earlier retirement and stay home with my family. And so we're down to, out of those 14 units, I got 13 of them are residential. And out of those 13, there's 9 of them short-term rentals. So I do short-term rentals for a living. And I have just 2 regular furnished rentals. So I'm a civil engineer by training, a lot of bridge construction, and a couple engineering degrees. I'm a community advocate, and I'm an ancillary income specialist, another title I made up for myself. It describes that I study and think about how to make more income on the side, how landlords can make additional income besides just raising rents. That's what I do. A lot of fun. And I've been featured all over the place here. There's kind of different badges here, logos. I make my way around podcasts, do podcasts a week or so. I got to update this. And it's usually because I come up with some far-fetched idea and I test it out on my own property. And then I share the results with my audience. Some things fizzle out, and some other things are really big money makers. So that's what people are interested in. And so far, so good. My money makers outweigh my my failures. Here is the apartment building that I often experiment with. This is the one I'm best known for, as transforming this apartment complex from a very troubled neighborhood and teaching others how to transform their neighborhoods as well through landlording. And I started with this place. It was filled with gang members and prostitutes back in 2002. And to the right, what it looks like today is filled with cancer researchers and traveling nurses. Here's another shot of inside once I kind of got it stabilized. Doesn't look too bad. People weren't pouring things out of the window, and I could take a picture without anyone getting scared or pulling out a gun on me. So that's what it's on the left there, and this is what it looks like now. The thing about it is just 8 units, but it cash flows as if it was 24 units. That's pretty all right. You guys like that? But it's doing great now, but it always hasn't been so great. Let me tell you how I got here. Things were great from 2002, 2008. It was a struggling neighborhood, but I was able to have some impact on it, and we were cleaning it up. But in 2008, just everything just fell apart. If you guys were around during that time, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of my tenants, nearly all of them, were underemployed or becoming unemployed, and I was laid off myself. So I was hurting. It was a great recession. Banks were falling apart and folding, and I was just going through my emergency funds, and it wasn't fun at all. It was kind of shaky, and my property values were dropping, of course. So I had everything that's going wrong, the wrong direction. But I had worked on this property so long, and my family and I, we just didn't want to give it back to the bank like so many people were doing, giving the properties back. We had worked on revitalizing the neighborhood it was very meaningful to my family and me, seeing this improvement in people's lives getting better and feeling safer. And I knew if I quit, I was going to regret quitting. Probably from my deathbed, I was going to regret it. So I had to figure something out. So all that to say, that's the backdrop, but things were bad, and I decided that I was going to figure out how to pay the mortgage without my tenant's rent. And that's the crazy idea. Um, so you guys know what a hot rod is? You guys remember hot rods? It's kind of a picture of when you start with a standard car right off the factory, and then you start cutting on it and bolting things on it to improve the performance, right? Well, that's what I did to the apartment complex. I started studying other businesses, trying to glean ideas that I could use, and kind of bolting the things onto my apartment complex to see if I can get the income up. And again, my goal was to come up with ways to pay the mortgage without relying on my tenants' rents. And as crazy as it sounds, we had a lot of failures and there was a lot of struggles, but long story short, I was able to achieve the goal in September 2015, and I was able to pay my mortgage with about $200 left over. Now that's side income money, that's not rents. I was collecting rents at the time, so it was like twice the income. And I put all those ideas in a book called 40 Ways to Increase the Net Income in Rental Properties. It's a book that's available on Amazon. It's also my go-to book. Even though I wrote it, I still have to go to it to help me get out of my box, you know. Everyone gets in their rut, so it's a great reference book. I recommend it to you. But all that to say, after I wrote the book, I was able to think about all the things I was doing, and I wanted to figure out what was the most effective thing I was doing. You know, I was renting bicycles, I was having maid service come to some people, and payday rents, and all kinds of different techniques that are in the book. But what I realized was that by shifting to short-term rentals, just getting away from long-term one-year annual unfurnished rentals, that really set the stage for all these other income streams. So I decided to double down on just short-term rentals. That was the thing that was the source of all these other income streams. So I started to focus on that. And I first started with Airbnb in 2011. I was in San Francisco, and I was the project manager for this solar project on Alcatraz Island, the famous Alcatraz Island, which is now a national park. It's a beautiful national park in San Francisco, and it was a year-long project. So I had a nice apartment that I was on expenses, and it was a year project. And when the project was coming to an end, I gave my 30-day notice, and then I heard the project was extended. So I needed a place to stay, but they had already leased out my apartment. So I spent the last 3 months in 2012, December and in 2012, Airbnb around San Francisco for 3 months. So that's how I got my chops back then. Learned a lot and saw the evolution of the whole industry there. It was a lot of fun. Since then, I've been traveling around with Airbnb, but most of my stays are in Northern California. I'm trying to fill in these maps as I go around and I interview different owners or different hosts, and I find out their best practices, and then I bring them back and apply them to my own Airbnbs and also share them with all my clients. But anyway, let's get into the meat of what I really want to share with you guys today is illustrated by the tale of two landlords. Okay, so these two landlords bought single-family homes at rentals right next to each other, and they were built by the same builder at the same time, identical properties. And over the course of the year, the fences blew down between them, and the shower valves clogged up with hard water and needed some really expensive plumbing repairs, and also the sidewalks were cracking up. Tree roots were getting in there and breaking the sidewalks up, and the city were making these landlords repair that. So they had some major expenses, But at the end of the year, one landlord had to use their credit cards to pay all these expenses, and the other one had $3,000 left over. So they had the same expenses, but one made a lot more money. So what made the difference here? What made the difference? The difference is one of them was in the traditional market, the competitive long-term rental market, where they're competing against other landlords, and their income is really capped by market rates. And the other one was competing against extended stay hotels. And extended stay hotels, they charge about 3 times as much. So that's why the other person, even though they have the exact same asset, was able to make quite a bit more money because they were in a different market. You guys get that? That's what we can do now. So in the past, it was if you could just buy a good deal and break even and at the end of the year, you know, because money comes in, but it goes back out on expenses. If you could just sustain, then you were doing good, really good. And there's really no relief for you until your mortgage is paid off, and then you have some breathing room. You got some extra cash flow, and that takes a lot of time. And you're going to need if you want financial freedom, you're going to need a lot of rentals because they all have these little tiny trickle cash flows at the end of the year. It might be good one month, but when the big expenses come, they wipe you out. But nowadays it's different. Nowadays, with the internet and the marketing abilities of short-term rentals, you can have a surplus of income. You can have money for savings and to enjoy right now. You don't have to wait till your mortgage is paid off. And you can build up your reserves, and that makes a big difference, lowers your stress level quite a bit because there's always things breaking. So it's a much better life, and you don't need so many rentals to achieve financial freedom. They get you your freedom number, right? So that's because you don't need so many rentals. Is definitely faster going to the fast short-term rental pathway. You guys with me? All right. So here you go. If you're pursuing financial freedom, I hope you are. Show me some hands. Show me a hand if you're pursuing financial freedom through rentals. Is anyone doing it? Click on the hand button there. You guys find the hand button? Okay. I see. Linda, you got it up. Okay, we got a question there. Good. I'll get the question when we get there. All right, right on. Okay, so cash flow is critical. Cash flow is everything if you want financial freedom because you need enough cash flow coming in to cover your personal expenses, all right? And if you have a multifamily, you really got to think, do you really do you need to operate all of those units the exact same way as a traditional landlord? Can't you just use one of them at least as a short-term rental to check out the market? Open up a whole world of cash flow for you. So it's definitely something you should consider. And the trend is so strong now. You know, cities are writing ordinances to try to cap the phenomenon and control it and tax it. It's not like it's a untested thing anymore. It's a proven business model. So I really think, I hope all of you are with me now. You need to have at least one short-term rental in your portfolio. Let me pick up this question before I move too far here. Let's see who it's from. See if I can do this. All right, perfect. Thank you, Ira. So you need one short-term rental to change your life. Sure has changed mine. Okay, but the problem is, simple enough saying you need one. The problem is that it's easy to make money with Airbnb. You see people doing it. You see young 20-something doing it. You see older seniors doing it, making money with Airbnb. It's not hard. It's a very well-designed system, designed website, and the founders are designers, so they made it beautiful, and it's very well written. So that's not the hard part, but the part for us as landlords is we have to generate enough money to exceed our traditional landlord income. Okay, we have a benchmark. We can't just bring in a little bit of money. We have to bring in enough so that it surpasses what a traditional landlord would make. Otherwise, we're doing more work and we're not getting more money. Does that make sense? We have a benchmark, so everything's different for landlords. We are not just reducing our personal expenses of our home, or we're not reducing the cost of our vacation homes. We're actually in business to make money, and that's kind of our bottom line, is that we need to make more money than a traditional landlord. That's what's different for landlords. Okay? It's easy for everyone else, but for landlords it takes some skill to do this, to make that margin. Follow what I'm saying? Okay. Now the solution to this is, some focused training on just for landlords, because it's different, and we just need to think about ways to increase profitability, and profitability means more profitable than a traditional landlord. You got to focus on that. Otherwise, you would do take advice from a bunch of people who get paid off of the gross income. For example, Airbnb gets paid off the gross income. They charge you a 3% fee. And property managers who operate Airbnbs, manage those, they get paid off the gross income. But who's caring about your net? That's what you care about. You want to take advice that's good for your net income, and that is not always what's good for your gross. You have to operate and think completely differently. You guys get what I'm saying? Show me a hand if you got what I'm saying here. Someone can give me a hand. All right. So I got 3 secrets for you here that will really help you out. 3 secrets to profitable short-term rentals, and by profitable I mean that helps you become more profitable than a traditional landlord. That's what I define it as. Secret number 1 is that you can create a housing vending machine. I'm going to talk to you about that. It's possible. And secret number 2 is that you can easily double your net income. And I'm talking net, not gross. Easily do that when you get your systems in place. And secret number 3 is the question that you need to keep in front of you when you're thinking about Airbnb as a landlord is, how much can I get for what I got? Not that will it work in my location, because yes, it will work at your location. We'll get there. But the question is, how much can I get for what I got? Let's take these one at a time. Here we go. Okay, secret number 1 is you can create a housing vending machine. And for the sake of discussion, let's all imagine a gumball machine. We all know what those are, right? Is you see the machine over there, you decide you want some gum, and you go, you put your quarter in it, and you take care of the financial matters, and you also dispense the gumball yourself. And you walk away happy. You do all that without the owner involvement at all. All right? The owner just needs to get involved for restocking the machine. So that's how that works. And let's apply those things to the rentals. So nowadays we have internet, and we can display your rental inside of it, and also handle the credit card transactions piece of it. And that's what's new, is people are more and more comfortable dealing with credit cards online. So this is a completely new opportunity because of the comfort level now. And there's plenty of ways to dispense by having people let themselves in. Realtors have been doing that for years, right? Letting themselves in. There's all kinds of key box systems. And so that piece is covered now. And Restocked, is coordinating your cleaning crew. So we can do all these things are now in place. Okay? So you can create a housing vending machine once you're using these online platforms, all right? This is my most famous client student. His name is Jay Martin, and he is only 34 and retired. He's got about 20 of these housing vending machines working for him, and he works remote now. And by remote, I mean he's in Vietnam, Thailand, India. He just travels the world, And all that's pretty cool. And Jay says about me, he says that he would have made another 100,000 and retired a couple years earlier if he would listen to me. And the advice I was giving him is to get away from doing nightly stays, get into monthly stays. So he did that, and he's doing quite well. It's pretty cool, right? Secret number 2 is that you can easily double your net income when your systems are in place. This is Bud and Peggy. Bud's like 6 foot something, and Peggy's like 4.5 feet tall. You know those kind of couples. They're great couples. They're very experienced landlords, and they had a problem property, but they were able to get it to work as a short-term rental. This is what it looks like inside. And they were able to increase their income 250%, and they were very happy about that. They were able to get market rents and increase it 250%. They did a beautiful job marketing, decorating their house too. I can tell you more about them later though. This is Chad and his wife. Chad's a realtor. He's a house flipper. He's also a full-time pastor. But the problem is he's not a well-paid pastor. That's the thing. So he knew that just having rentals doesn't mean you have cash flow. Like we talked about before, you got to save that cash flow for repairs. But he needed cash that he could actually use to feed his family and to help out with those expenses. So we got together, got one of my courses, started coaching him, and he's picked up short-term rentals, able to increase his net income 250%. It's getting closer to 300 now, 300%, and he's adding more of them, and he's able to use that extra money to live off of. And here's Esther. She has some non-paying tenants, and when she evicted them, she had to decide if she was going to go and compete against other landlords down the street, or was she going to compete against extended stay hotels. And she realized that extended stay hotels had a more profitable profit ceiling, and she started doing that. We're doing monthly rentals with her, and she's up 300%. And these are very typical numbers. That I'm up to 10%, 10 times, and other fellows are up to 20% or 20x of what would you be netting. Okay, so very doable numbers. This is what Peggy says. She's a big cheerleader. She says her house is wildly successful now. They've been going almost well over a year now, and she considers it a very reliable business. It was a problem property before, and she always encourages people, make sure you get your education, because operating as a landlord is different than vacation rentals and sharing your home. It's pretty cool. Secret number 3, let's get into this piece here, is really the question you guys need to ask is, how much can I get for what I got? If you own rentals, start thinking, how much can I get for what I got? And it's all a marketing question. Here is a warehouse I stayed in in St. Louis. It's a whole district of abandoned warehouses that look just like this. But right there where the meters are is where this Airbnb was, so I had to check it out when I was in town. And they did a great job inside. They make these little cubbies that broke out this huge open floor plan, has 4 different stories, and they rent each floor by the room to people having bachelor and bachelorette parties. And that's his focus. Friday through Sunday, he opens up to people throwing parties, so they can be as loud as they want, because there's no one in miles to disturb, just the burger joint just a couple feet away. So he's able to turn this to a $600,000 per year business, having parties just on weekends, to bachelor and bachelorette parties. So he's using Airbnb and short-term rentals to market his place and revitalize the neighborhood. Here is the Bamboo Inn in Oklahoma. It's just in a regular suburb. This guy built a house behind his house, and he has a passion for gardening, and he markets himself as being the Bamboo Inn off of Route 66. And he's not that close to the highway at all, but if you look on the map and you are in China or over there in Asia, and you're touring the U.S. and you're kind of retracing, you're making your way down Route 66, the historical Route 66, he's close enough. So he's constantly booked $100 per night. Great marketing, and he's got a little money maker on his hands for sure. This is what the inside looks like. He's done a masterful job. It's pretty cool. Here is Paul and Connie. They are ranchers. Even ranchers can do this, you know? They are in Kansas, and they're typically used to renting their studio, the little bunkhouse, out to people who are just who are traveling with horses. There's a whole economy of people traveling with horses called Horse Motel. And I met them. They got one of my courses. I started coaching them and getting them to take pictures, and then taking those pictures down and getting professional pictures, and, and working with all their sales copy and everything like that. And when they went live, they got booked out 30 days straight. And they're used to being booked a couple times per month, but 30 days straight because they were the Mars Chocolate Factory that was across the freeway from them was able to discover how them, and now they do a lot of business just with that chocolate factory. You know, they got hotel rates now. They're in constant bookings. So if they can do it at a ranch, they can do it at abandoned warehouses. Yes, your rental is really how much can you get for what you got. It's about marketing. Okay, so here we go. This I want you to see that you can wrap a whole business around each one of these nuggets. Each one of these little secrets, you can wrap a whole business just around that. And hope you can see now that you can do a housing vending machine. You guys believe that? Show me your hand. Show me your hand if you believe it now. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I see you, Linda. All right. So you got to get your systems in place, but we can do that. And it's become a big money maker for you. And this is what I use to replace my engineering income. And secret number 3 is that you can easily double your net. You just need to become efficient. You can't be carrying luggage. You have to operate like a landlord has to operate to get that margin, okay? But you can easily do that by just serving, like we talked, I sent you a little video about it. You serve more people per year. That's how you offer more value to more people. And secret number 3 is to make sense with your existing properties. You can convert them over, or at least one unit, so you can see how it goes, and start competing against the extended stay market. So you just change your market because the internet is here now. So that makes the difference. You don't have to compete against other cash-strapped landlords who are all getting by on market rate rents. Just go to hotel rents. Okay, you guys good with that? Okay, I got so much to there's a lot more. I think I would overwhelm you with all the different things. I've been doing this since 2016, helping people out with it, and lots of success stories that I want to share with you. But really, at this time, I got to ask you a question. Will you be my next success story? You guys excited about this? You gonna do it? Show me a hand. You gonna do this now? You gonna try it? You gonna try it? All right. But you probably feel a little overwhelmed, a little overwhelmed with it. I know I covered a lot pretty quick, but there's so much to share, and I can't go on for hours and hours. I know your time is valuable, so I just want to give you 3 nuggets, and I thought you could retain that, you know. But I did put together a special package for those of you who are really ready to take action here. And so let me ask you, is it okay if I spend a couple minutes sharing the special offer I put together for you? Someone show me a hand. I need permission to move on. I don't want to, because I already know it, but I want to make sure. All right, thank you. I will. I'm happy to. I have a course that I am so proud of because it actually helps people. It's coaching and training. and I am very proud of the results everyone's getting. And I've been helping over 200 landlords get up and going with this course. And let me tell you about the components of it in case you want to hack it yourself and go it alone. These are the components that you need if you're going to make that margin to be profitable that we kept talking about. All right? You need these components, so let's talk about them. So you need to do an overview on your market so you know what to expect. And you need to know about components about Airbnb, how it works, and get some idea of what you can likely earn. You kind of study your hotel extended stay market there. And you got to know your competition so that you can position yourself accordingly. So that's what you need to do. I have a module that does that. It's a computer module because it's a voiceover PowerPoint, like a video, and it has an $85 value. And this is super important. I have a strategy guide to help you. This is really important because there's really two groups of people that use Airbnb and all these different platforms. There's the tourists, and then there's the travelers. Okay, and all the horror stories you may hear are all related to the tourists. So this strategy guide helps you focus on how to market to travelers and serve them. And I was a business traveler as a consultant, always traveling for bridges and different things for many years, so I know this inside and out. And also, when you think about who's paying, it makes a big difference. The tourist is paying out of pocket, and the traveler is being reimbursed, and it's completely night and day dealing with each group. So this strategy guide teaches you how to deal with travelers, how to pick those up. It's a PDF, little booklet, and it is a real world value of $85. This Christine, she says about me, she says the support level Al gives is second to none because I do like to be involved. I consider as partners. And she said, Alice said, Airbnb, what Tony Robbins is to inspirational change. And I like that quote. I like to be grouped with Tony Robbins. Can't blame me, right? All right. So there's also a workbook. It has a bunch of templates in it. You need these pieces. You need a welcome letter. Got to start off on the right foot. You need a guest manual so that, remember we talked about the housing vending machine and dispensing? You want people to be able to serve themselves. So you don't want them calling you. You want it all in that manual so they don't have to disturb you because your time is not free. You don't have, every time you answer questions and have to deal with this, that's an expense. Okay, so you want to get set up right. Also, there's a bunch of scripts I have that help you, what I call turn a Timex into a Rolex, of how to market to people so that they give you a 5-star review. Okay, all of you guys know, probably everyone shops on Amazon. You know how important 5-star reviews are. So you want to do everything you can possible to lead them to giving you a 5-star review. So that's also in that work. But plus there's a ton of other stuff that help you do calculations and things. But it's a PDF, and it's a real world value of $85. It's really just fill in the blanks, and you're up and going. I also have a video and also a follow-up video of what my place looks like 1 year later. It shows you how my self-check-in process works and how to make guests feel safe. That's super important. A little secret is every time I stay somewhere new, I'm kind of a little bit nervous the first night. So there's little things you can do to make people feel safe. And utility first design. I walk you through what I did for utility first design. So I started with safety and functionality. I didn't start with the artwork. I spent my budget on safety and utility first. So that's a video module I'm walking through, and I just show you everything. And all my little ninja tricks are in the kit, and it's an $85 value. But you need to have those things in place. Self-check-in, housing vending machine right there. Then it's really 20 lessons. I got to update this. There's all kinds of little details, things you need to know. And so I drip them out over each week. I send out an email, and I also give you all the lessons up front, but it's just overwhelming, so we do it once a week. And it talks about, when should you reject people, not even let them stay at your place, and which fair housing laws don't apply. Remember, we're not doing landlording, so this is really important for you. And how to transition from nightly to monthly rentals. That's critical so that you can do the extended stay and not wear yourself out and come up with the same net income. That's what's killer. All right? So you want to act like a seasoned pro right off the bat, and that's what it helps you do. It's a $350 value for that. It's just a bunch of email lessons that come to you. So if I add it all up, we roll it all up, workbook, we talk about the strategy guide so you can go after business travelers if you choose to do that, and the overview module so you know how to analyze your market, and workbook with all those templates ready to go, housing vending machine startup guide, and also what it looks like a year later. I just added that. Also, unlimited email support. Now, this is important for you to know that the guest is the client for Airbnb. That's where the money is coming from, and they serve them. As a host, if you put your place up on Airbnb, you are a vendor. And they want you to go to different forums to get your questions answered. Okay? So because of that, I set up an unlimited email support so I can give you answers quickly to your questions and get you up and going, because I know you don't have time to deal with forums. Okay, and it's also 20 lessons and continuous. Every time I travel somewhere and I learn something, I write it up and I send out a new lesson. So that's ongoing. Every time I come up with a new module or anything like that, is all included. And I'm always reviewing other people's courses. So if I find a nugget that applies to landlords, it's all included. You don't need to buy any more courses about Airbnb. If you saw something I haven't reviewed already, I would buy it and go through it and share it with you. Okay? So the real world value, all those things added up together is $940. But you might need some other things, because we found out over the years is that people are concerned about marketing and vacancies. So I came up with this. I came up with a list of other websites in addition to Airbnb that you should be marketing on. Okay, you shouldn't just be hoping on one website. You should be on multiple websites so that you can be marketed all around the world aggressively so that you don't have vacancies. But to coordinate all those calendars, I put together a module that teaches you how to coordinate all those different calendars, how to link them all together. And I go through in really small details so that you can just delegate the work. You shouldn't do it yourself. Have a teenager do it or a virtual assistant do it. I give them all the tiny little details step by step. And that is a overview module, or it's kind of a PowerPoint when I'm talking over it. Detailed is a $650 value because it helps you avoid those vacancies, which are so expensive. And I typically have 2-day vacancies, and I got the next person in. So what if you don't have vacancies right now? You don't have any of your rentals that are available for right now, or if you don't own properties at all. Some of you might be newbies. There's typically a handful on every webinar here. Is rental arbitrage. This is the secret sauce, okay? The secret sauce here. Rental arbitrage, what is it? Okay, you rent a property from a regular landlord, and you make sure you disclose, hey, I'm going to sublet it. You tell them, they understand that. And you put your own furnishings in it. You furnish the place up nice, and then you use these powerful internet marketing tactics with Airbnb and VRBO to attract people who will pay you much more than your cost, your holding costs. So they bring in, sometimes it's typically twice as much as your holding costs. And you just keep the difference. They pay you, you pay the landlord, the traditional landlord, and you keep the difference. That is arbitrage. Okay, I have a bonus module for you. It walks you through the details, shows you how I'm doing it, a couple interviews with other people. And this is how you turn $3,500 into a $500 monthly cash flow stream. Every arbitrage I do is a $500 cash flow stream. And I'm up to 4 of them now. And Jay is up to a 20. I'm on my way to 20. I'm on my way to 10 of them. That's enough for me. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Making money without owning rentals. Oh, another thing about this is if the roof leaks, who does the bill go to? You hand that to the traditional landlord has to pay that bill. You don't have to pay that bill. So you're kind of insulated from all those crazy landlord things. Think pipes breaking. It's pretty sweet. Okay, but there's still unknowns because it's still kind of scary, but repositioning it's still a walk by faith. So I offer private consulting with this up to 4 hours. Now this is for the first 10 people, and then I'll do everybody, but first 10 people get the priority. Up to 4 hours. Just make sure that you won't need all that time, but I just want you to know that I am holding your hand. I'm not dishing you off to anyone else. I'm holding your hand all the way. So I've coached over 200 landlords through it, and I know I can help you through any problems that you have. I spend at least an hour a day writing up a review for landlords and helping them with their problems. And I am an internet marketing specialist as well as an Airbnb specialist. So if you go towards short-term rentals, you become an internet marketer. And there's a lot to learn, so I help you with that. And the real-world value of that, all that time and expertise, is $2,900. So if we put it all together, a strategy guide, so you can pick up business travelers and not have any headaches. You can learn how to analyze your market and templates so that you can just plug and play, and a video what this housing vending machine looks like, and unlimited email support, and these lessons and ongoing lessons and reviews and modules coming forever and ever, never asking for any more money. This calendar and marketing so that you can avoid vacancies. You can sync those calendars together so no double booking worries. And rental arbitrage, very powerful, send you to an early retirement. Good information. And 4 hours of my time, first 10 people, if you're action takers, all that together is $6,990. And if all of that does, I know it's a big chunk of money, but if all that does is opens your eyes that you need to, whether you know it or not, you have a choice now to compete against landlords or to compete against hotels. If I just opened your eyes with the time we have together, then it's completely worth it, because you'll be making money for years to come, and it's going to give you a lot more disposable income for great memories with your family. I just came back from Disneyland, all paid by arbitrage money, watching the fireworks. They created a smiley face with the fireworks. It was awesome. Great memories, and with this tactic, because you can do your you can do your analysis based on hotel cash flow, okay? And then it's going to make the things that don't pencil if you want that property. Then it's completely worth it, because you now have an alternative way of running your numbers. It's for real. So you can make the impossible deals possible now for you. So I had two choices. I could have made something flimsy and just put it all together, and that would have been a lot less money. But I wanted to create something that was interactive. So I really is serious about this. I partner with you in your success. I'm right there holding your hand step by step, and that is more expensive. So this whole course comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You get to look at it. You get to talk to me one-on-one. And after 29 days, if you don't like it, no money, no questions asked. Al, I want my money back. Okay. It's pretty good. So no risk on you. I take all the risk. So the real world value is $6,990. I hope you can see why. There's a lot in it. Send you to the early retirement, but I'm not going to make you pay that. Again, this is a risk-free because it comes with that 30-day money-back guarantee. And it's a limited time for $497. But the catch is that's only good to July 15th, midnight. Okay, limited time. Remember, the first 10 people get the priority with my time. Can't do that for everyone. I can get to everyone, but not the priority. So you have two choices now. You can keep doing business the same way, competing against other landlords, and be happy with that. and that is a well-worn path to wealth. You will be able to get there that way. Or there's a much faster way. You can move to a highly profitable extended stay market. It's about 3 times. They charge about 3 times more. You compete against that. Okay, so it's up to you. The way to get the course is you go to Airbnblandlord.com. Airbnblandlord.com. You'll see this little red button here. You click on that, enter your payment information, and download all the information right onto your hard drive. And we set up after you read through that, you set up an appointment with me, and we start talking. That's as simple as that. Okay, it's all digital. Now here we go. Take a screenshot. Thank you guys for staying with me. I appreciate it so much. Take a screenshot. I'm going to send you this link as well. But you want to download this, the top 10 ways to reduce rental expenses. Very valuable information. Saves me a lot of money. Okay? Hope you guys got that. Okay. Start typing in your questions. I want to make sure I get to them. I know I gave you a lot of information. I'm sure you have questions about it. I got a whole bunch of most frequently asked questions too, but to give you some time. But yeah, type it on in. If this is a live webinar, it's not a recording, and I'll be looking for it. But let's go through the most frequently asked questions while we're waiting for someone. Okay, the most common questions I get is, do I need additional insurance? And yes. If you're doing stays that are 30 days or more, then you're a traditional landlord, you're okay. You don't need additional insurance. They recognize that business model. Okay? But if you're doing less than 30 days, then you're kind of operating as a tourist transient, without a lease agreement. So if anything happens, that insurance company is going to find that nice loophole. So there is special insurances that you can get for these gaps. Also, I need to tell you that if someone comes in and they completely thrash your place, then Airbnb gives you up to $1 million to put it back together. But if that person gets shocked by some electrical outlet or something like that, some slip and fall, you're on your own. So you do need extra insurance. That's another reason why I only do month-long stays. Let me get my cursor back here. All right. Payment plans, yes, I offer payment plans for the course. I'll tell you more about that later. And do you know if it's legal? What about city regulations? Well, you Google that for your city, but 30-day stays, month-long rentals have been legal, for centuries. Okay, so if you do the longer extended stay market, which I encourage you to do, if your market allows you to. If you have regulations in your market, that's a great thing. That's telling you have a very viable market. So definitely jump in. That's how you handle that. Plus, I have a whole bunch of loopholes for you. And what do you say to a landlord to get them to allow you to arbitrage? That is in the bonus course. I give you all those different scripts of what we use, and we're at the point now where we turn down rentals for our arbitrage. So it's very successful for me and quite a few people all over the country. And what's the difference between Airbnb for landlords, that's this course, and niche rentals is another course. This niche rentals takes you through Airbnb and gives you a whole bunch of other different tactics that no matter what your neighborhood is like, you can find a niche that will at least double or triple your net income. So that's what that's about. Airbnb for landlords gets you up and going with short-term rentals. That's the difference. Some other questions is how much does it cost to furnish a place? Typically $3,500. We're doing one this weekend. It'd probably be like $4,000, depending on how many rooms, right? So there you go there. And question is, what if you don't have money for furnishings? Well, if you are in a great spot, there are companies that will loan you money, and then they'll they'll loan you money up front so you can get up and going with Airbnb, and then they'll garnish your earnings. Because this is a very established thing now. You may just be opening your eyes to it, but the market's there. It's just what's it's not even the future anymore. They're advertising at the Super Bowl. It's very established now. Hope you are an adopter before you don't have to wait 3 years before you jump on. Okay, what if I want to take action but money is tight? It's a matter of being resourceful, and I also have a payment plan for that allows you 6 months no payments. So if you're doing arbitrage, you can make a ton of money before your first payment. So that's through PayPal. So we can talk about that. And if you have any questions that you don't want to ask me here, because I don't see any hands up, is send it to me at al@leadinglandlord.com. I'll be happy to answer your questions. For those of you who came on late, I wanted to share you what my special offer was. It's a strategy guide, an overview module, a workbook that has a ton of templates and how to calculate things, and all the analytics, a video tour, kind of showing you how to do a housing vending machine, and then email support by me, and 20 lessons, all the little details, a little bit at a time so you can pick them up. Some marketing information so you can keep your place filled. You don't want vacancies, so you can make as much as you can. And rental arbitrage, we talked about that, send you to an early retirement, and 4 hours time with me. You won't need it, but I'm here. I'm holding your hand through it, okay? So that's a $6,990 value right there. But we got a limited time special for you. It is with a 30-day guarantee, money back. I take all the risks because I know it's awesome, and I know you'll be successful. Is $497. But that offer is good through July 15th. So don't wait. It's subject to change or me taking something out, depending on how busy I am. All right, you guys got that? So if you want to take advantage of it, Airbnblandlord.com, you click on the red button, enter your payment information, and download all those files and start working your way through it. And set up an appointment, send me an email, and we'll set up an appointment and we'll start talking about it. Help you get going, answer all your detailed questions so that you will be successful. If you're motivated and you get coaching, you're going to get the results. It's just that simple. All right, well, thank you so much. Remember, you can always send me your questions. I'll be happy to get those to you. I appreciate all your time, and it was great. Thank you so much for being here. Let's stay in touch. Hope to see you on the other side. All right? All right. Bye-bye.